What's your thoughts on BIP 361? Because I think you have an opinion here.
Well, let's put it this way. I did, although again, I'm always open to the fact that explain it to me better. I'm a simple man. And last night, this was actually something that BC and I discussed while we were live. Matter of fact, we spent over a half an hour talking about this whole BIP 361 and Joel Valenzuela's basic breakdown of it, which is great, by the way. And
yeah, check it out.
And puts it succinctly in frame. I think we're going to bring that up in a minute anyway, because we've got that. And matter of fact, everything we're discussing tonight, links are in the description, including his response. So go ahead and check all that out. But BC basically fell down on the side of, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, that he was pro this BIP 361 because he felt that it allowed for an inroad for once quantum actually hits the ground running to basically, what's the word I want? Potentially attack Bitcoin from inside, yes, because it would already have grabbed, exposed wallets, et cetera, et cetera. I was originally and still to a good degree on the side of, listen, man, if you can lock somebody out of their Bitcoin, Bitcoin is no longer a store of value.
Exactly.
And I get his argument. I can even respect the argument. And as I think about it more, there is merit to the argument.
Yeah, there is.
But I don't know. I am very much, and I'm hopeful that as this quantum threat continues to progress, because we've seen some major advancements, and so that timeline has been crunching down for this quantum threat coming into play. Okay. I am hopeful that somebody is going to come up with a better solution. It was a long-winded way to answer your question, Jar. I'm sorry.
No, it is a proposal, and there could be more, right? This is just one idea that one person came. Well, actually, it was a group of people, and it ain't bad. They're just trying to protect the future of, or the possibility of a future threat, which is still approximately 5 or more years away. So we still have some time, and there is a lot of other opportunities to use this technology to profit from rather than just Bitcoin. A lot larger markets, a lot larger access to security platforms. So Bitcoin is kind of like a small fish in the ocean when it comes to this. But the reason why I think it is a net positive is if you implement something earlier, before we get to the phase where it's a 50 trillion asset rather than like $3 trillion asset, you're doing that in the infancy, because Bitcoin overall is actually still fairly new. I don't really like the idea of locking people's assets forever and freezing them. That puts a little bit of salt in the wound. But I do think that something has to be done at some point.
Agreed.
So proposal, I would shut this one down. I think we still have time to implement something a little bit better and stronger.
Well, I would love to read through, matter of fact, if you don't have it there, I can bring it up. Joel's outline. It's a little long, but it really, I think, articulately plays it out. I'll bring it up before we go through that. Cameron saying it will no longer be decentralized, human controlled. Show's over.
Absolutely.
Show's over, folks. And Andy saying reducing the Bitcoin supply by 34%. Wow, that's bullish. Okay, I guess if it's just about NGU, then yep, you're right. That would be bullish. And software and hardware needs to be upgraded. I'm sure Satoshi took that into consideration. I agree that something needs to be done. I agree that, yes, there will have to be software changes because, as we're about to read here, what he calls, I think, layer 0 or whatever, or option 0, excuse me, is not an option really, which is basically do nothing. And then just, again, I'm not burn the Bitcoin supply. You're technically not burning it, you're locking it, but no. Anyway, Jar, do you want to read through the highlights on that real quick?
So basically, the first one is just do nothing, which is a realistic. Oh, he's saying it's not a realistic option. If nothing changes in the code base, of course, that means quantum attackers could eventually steal everybody's funds. Everybody that has a publicly listed address in the blockchain.
Well, and that was BC's argument yesterday. Once they've got a foot inside the door, it's easier to attack it from the inside.